I'm Hillary Mintz here in Milwaukee County. Snow still falling. Roads are dicey this morning. We'll have a live report about conditions.
And I'm Chris Swain. We'll take you down to Oak Creek where the snow is just starting to pick up a little bit more. What to expect when you head out the door coming up.
And coming up, what you need to know about snow parking rules here in the city of Milwaukee.
Leading the way with important local coverage. You're watching WISN 12 News this morning.
4:30 on this Wednesday morning. It is going to be a dicey commute with the snow still coming down. 12 News photographer Stephen Radmer captured this video during his drive to work last night. You can see some of the roads still snow covered at that hour. Plows will definitely be out this morning, but we know that even the plows are dealing with some hazardous conditions this morning.
We want to bring back in 12 News' Hillary Mintz. She's live near 4145 at Good Hope, where a trailer and a snowplow truck crashed this morning, Hillary.
Yeah, and Adrian, this was a couple of hours ago, and really, I don't think conditions have improved since that happened. If you take a look at the roads right now, we just got here a few minutes ago, you can't really make out the lanes. They're snow-covered, and I think people are being a little bit not as cautious as they should be this morning. Especially some tractor trailers, a little bit more brave than perhaps the conditions allow for. But I want to show you the video. It was just after 1 a.m. this morning. It looked like a UPS tractor trailer jackknifed right on 4145 north here. And it looked like, as a result, a Milwaukee County snowplow behind it had to kind of stop in its tracks there. Couldn't really get around it. Now, according to the Milwaukee Fire Department, nobody was hurt. They had to clean up a diesel fuel spill, so not too bad there. But if that's any indication of how things will go throughout the morning, it could be very, very dangerous and interesting, to say the least. But again, on our commute up here, you cannot go highway speed. You have to really allow a lot of room between you and the car in front of you. Off-ramps are, everything is snow covered. So please, please be careful out here. Again, I think people are going a little bit too fast. Yeah, four-wheel drive, it doesn't matter. You will slide. It is slippery out there. Guys, back to you.
I hate to publicly shame anybody, but yeah, the drivers that we saw in your video are going way too fast.
Yeah, definitely. It's just not worth the risk. I mean, allow a lot of extra time if you're leaving this morning, and with more snow coming, it's going to be a very interesting morning.
All right, slow and steady and allow some room for the plow trucks and the other cars around you. Hillary, thank you.
Yeah, I gave myself about double the amount of time I normally would coming into work.
Yeah.
Well, and I was happiest when no one was around me. You know, you don't have anybody coming up in your rearview mirror, and there's nobody, maybe a set of taillights a ways ahead. It can be helpful, but please allow extra time. Temperatures are all well below freezing now. It's a touch warmer in the far southeast corner, 25 at the airport, 30 at Racine, and 28 at Kenosha, but teens showing up inland, and the snow continues to fall. Currently, as far as temperatures are concerned, we have 20 at Sheboygan and 30, though, at Racine. Snow is falling everywhere. Now, we did have a little lull in the action over the last hour in the far east, but the snow is picking up once again. Winter storm warning still in place for us. It's in place until noon today. Now, you can see that little lull filling in across Sheboygan County, but where we're looking at the darker blues and purples, these are the heavier snow bands that are setting up, and you can see snow still flying across much of northern and western Illinois and eastern Iowa, central Iowa. That's the snow that's headed our way for much of the rest of the morning. That's why the winter storm warning is in place until noon. This is when we're picking up most of our accumulating snow will be over the next few hours. So we're on weather watch. Heavy snow in place for us early this morning, and certainly heavy snow bands generally tapering off in the vicinity of around noon, right around 27. Partly to mostly cloudy and 12 tonight. Partly to mostly cloudy on your Thursday. Morning highs in the upper teens, and after the snow comes the cold. We'll be looking at an Arctic blast that settles in just in time for the weekend, and yet another shot at snow that's coming up as well.
And dangerous cold, too.
Yes. Very cold, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, the winter parking rules are in effect.
So, Eden, people definitely need to pay attention, because it seems like every single year we talk about this, and they still get
tickets. If you don't want to get cited, you certainly want to pay attention. I just want to show you guys there are some cars parked here just outside of our station, but we're talking about the cars that are parked outside of houses and apartments. Right now, the snow parking rule wraps up at 6 this morning. Your car should be on the even side of the street right now, but we know the city of Milwaukee's snow clearing operation continues tonight, and that means you got to park on the odd-numbered houses by 11 p.m. tonight. However, posted no parking signs, those still apply. Some Milwaukee public school lots are open for parking. Tonight's parking rule remains in effect until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. And we talked to some people in the city who are still confused about these restrictions.
Right. It's alternate side parking tonight.
Alternate side?
Do you know what that means?
I don't know what that means.
I think some of it is people don't understand, and then some of it is just they don't really have the option of moving.
Do you think most people know the rules?
Yeah, you know, it's just so over here, it's just so complicated now.
Tonight, you have no idea which side to park on?
I'll just have to park and see what happens.
Yeah, a lot of people appear to be confused. And this is, you know, it is kind of a confusing rule, right? I mean, depending on the day, you have to park on a certain side of the street. Last week, 4,200 people were cited. And guess what that means? They had to pay a $40 ticket, money that you certainly do not want to spend.
Not at all, Eden. I was just going to say, can you talk to us a little bit more about some of the penalties that are connected for folks breaking the rules? Some of those drivers didn't care, but other people might want to avoid getting a citation.
$40 can add up, guys. That's money that you can use elsewhere.
Sure is. All right, Eden Chuckle, thanks so much. We'll check in with you throughout the morning. We appreciate that heads up.
12 News Time 437. The snow causes challenges for first responders in emergencies. 12 News' Ben Wagner got an eye-opening ride.
Even sirens can't get some drivers to move over on snow-covered roads.
It's the unpredictability of people, though, too. Like, well, what do I do? How can I get out of the way?
Captain Dan Tyke with the North Shore Fire Department says cars struggling to move out of the way can be a big obstacle for first responders getting to emergencies. In one call, our cameras saw a number of vehicles unsure of what to do in the snow.
The time that it takes to get out of the way or slow down or pull to the right is magnified because of the weather conditions, so we have to be hyper vigilant about making sure that before we make our move, we're driving defensively and we're prepared for what somebody around us may do.
Their trucks get around well in the snow, but their sheer size makes them tough to stop for unpredictable drivers. The elements add another layer at the scene. While there weren't any crashes during our ride along, firefighters know what big snowstorms can bring.
Definitely, if this continues through the rush hour tomorrow, we'll see our share of vehicles off the road and crashes.
North Shore Fire says that these conditions actually don't slow down their response times all that much. With a number of stations around the area, they say they're able to get to calls safely and quickly. In Bayside, I'm Ben Wagner, WISN 12 News.
So stay with our winter storm team coverage throughout 12 News this morning. You can also keep an eye on the school and business closings. Those are scrolling at the bottom of your screens. You can also go to WISN.com for that full list.
All right, the snow is the big story today, but a lot of people were talking about this, and they're going to continue talking about this. Miller Park is getting a new name. American Family Insurance is taking over the naming rights at the ballpark. Sure, you saw this on your social media feeds yesterday. Mine were dominated by it. Miller name will come down at the end of the 2020 season. AmFam signed a 15-year deal to put up a new name that organizers haven't decided yet. So here's what fans are saying about the switch.
Can you imagine this place being anything other than Miller Park?
No, it's going to be a big transition, mentally, for me anyway.
I'm kind of disappointed. I like the Miller brand, and it's just like Miller Park. I'll always be known to me as Miller Park. That'd be like changing Lambeau Field's name to me.
A lot of people have very strong feelings about this. There's even a petition, Adrian, on change.org to keep Miller Park as the official name for the home of the Milwaukee Brewers. More than 19,000 people have already signed it.
I have the feeling, though, it's not going to stop the change. An income tax cut, that's one goal Governor Tony Evers said in his first State of the State address last night.
We're going to cut taxes by 10% for everyone making up to $100,000 a year and families making up to $150,000 a year.
That proposal got both Democrats and Republicans on their feet in applause, but Governor Evers called on the Republican-controlled legislature to raise corporate taxes to pay for it. Republicans say no.
There's no reason for us to raise taxes on farmers, manufacturers, anybody in Wisconsin with a massive surplus that we have right now. And most importantly, we are not going to raise taxes, income or sales taxes on the people of Wisconsin under any circumstances.
The governor also called on the state to expand Medicaid. The top Republican in the state Senate said Evers should just give up on that.
All right, it's 4:40. We are talking about snow all morning long.
It's our big story today. Let's take a live look outside where you can barely see anything at this point. Sally will have to check your forecast coming up.
Snowfall rates have really picked up here in Oak Creek. We'll have a live report for you and a look at road conditions coming up here pretty soon.